First of all, this is another 7 minutes on the Sabbath day, and if you're watching my videos, I really appreciate it, because all I'm trying to do is help you, not me. My consciousness level's up where it's supposed to be. But tonight, I'm going to give y'all a little consciousness test to see how high up the consciousness level y'all are. And Freemasonry is supposed to be the top of their levels, the 33rd vertebrae, 33rd degree. That's related to the vertebrae in your spinal column. But I'm going to give you a little random facts, and how you think about these facts determines your consciousness level. That's all there is to it. Just like killing animals. You have to grow all this food to feed the animals for you to eat the meat. Why don't we bypass the animals and just eat what we're growing for the animals? But y'all just can't do that. See, y'all got to have that meat. You got to have the blood. Every piece of meat you eat has blood in it. Every blood has adrenaline. That's what y'all are eating, adrenaline. If you get off the meat, your consciousness level will rise. So you flunked the first test. You're eating other animals, so that puts your consciousness level at a certain level. Your vibration is low because you're killing animals to eat them. You're causing them to suffer. And believe me, they do have a conscience, and they do have a soul. They have a spark of energy just like you do. So if they do have a spark of energy and do have a soul, what separates you from them? I've been trying to figure this out for a long time. I said, as far as I can see, we should be more like the animals. Their consciousness level's higher than yours. I'll give you another example. I ride a Harley sometimes, and I watch people smoking cigarettes. I don't care if people smoke cigarettes. If they want to kill themselves, pull out a gun and blow your head off. Good riddance. Good for you. You do what you want to do. That's my policy. But smoke a cigarette, and they just got to thump the butt out the window. They think this means nothing. You have no idea what this means. This is Mother Earth. Little things like that are as big a sin as some other things y'all do. But y'all don't think anything about it. You just toss that cigarette butt out the window. You got an ashtray right there in the car. You could put a cup of sand in there and put it in there. But you don't care about anything but yourselves. You flunked the next test. Bingo. Flunked that one too. Can you pass one consciousness level check? Can you? Can you treat anything like you would want to be treated? I look for it every day, everywhere I go. I go to drink coffee at different places and just watch how people treat each other. And it's insane. They ride in their cars, they cut you off, and then they flip you off. And I like Jerry Seinfeld because he tells the truth. I would much rather, what's a finger? They flip you off, give you the finger. Big deal. Now, if I got the toe, if somebody took the trouble to raise their toe off, take their sock off, and stick their toe out the window at me, I would feel much more offended if they gave me the toe. Somebody just holding one finger up at me doesn't matter to me one bit. That's another consciousness level test. Why not just even say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake? You can't ever admit that you made a mistake. And I'm filming today on Friday the 13th, so I want to go over Friday the 13th a little bit with y'all. It's named because that's when they started rounding up the Knights Templars, who basically ran the show. They lent the money. They controlled everyone. The Catholic Church owed them money. The King of France owed them a fortune. So they decided that they would just wipe these people out. They tortured these people terribly. They did terrible things to them sexually. All you got to do is read a book and find this out. But y'all don't want to read a book and find it out, do you? You don't want to find out the truth because it scares you to death. But they tortured these people, and under torture, you'll say mostly anything. What they want you to say to stop the pain. Pain's a very powerful factor in people telling you the truth. And people will tell you things that ain't the truth to make the pain stop. But I'll tell you one more time, I've told you this before in another video, Jacques Molay, the leader of the Knights Templar, while they're burning him at the stake, he looks at the Pope and the King of France very calmly and says, you'll both join me within a year. And it happened. I'm not telling you this. This is real. How did this man know they were going to be dead within a year? As I told you before, if you look up a word in the dictionary called theurgist, A person that has the ability to call upon supernatural powers to do their bidding. These people are real. Witches are real. Nothing wrong with being a witch if you use your gift in the correct way. So any witches watching me, I'm not even against you. I'm against people that use their gift in a negative fashion to gain things. That's all it's about. Gaining more money, gaining more pleasure. Why can't you just live and moderate and let the world be? The last thing I'm going to tell you about tonight, I'm going to go over different things in the Christian Bible. A lot of preachers know who I am, and I've asked a lot of preachers about the story of Abraham and Sarah. First of all, Sarah's name in the beginning was Sarai. S-A-R-A-I. Y'all know what A-I is, don't you? I think you do. But her name was Sarai. She can't have a baby, she thinks. She's told by angels that she's going to have a baby. But once again, she don't believe the angels, so she asked Abraham to have sex with Hagar. And because Abraham loved Sarah, he does. And he has a son named Ishmael. Y'all all know this story, I hope, if you're Christian. And he loves this son. It's his son. A perfect child. I mean, the perfect man's son. And then Sarah gets pregnant and has Isaac. And once again, Sarah, the whole factor that determined what happened here is it's called jealousy. Do y'all know what jealousy is? When Isaac started growing up, Sarah was jealous of Ishmael and Hagar, the relationship they had with Abraham. So Sarah tells Abraham to kick Hagar and Ishmael into the desert, which was a death sentence. That's just like sentence you to death. Y'all all know the story. They went out there, but he didn't die. A voice comes up and says, "Of him I will make a great nation." And I asked preachers why this happened. And you know what every preacher has told me? Every Christian preacher has told me that God called Sarah to do this. So God created the jealousy in Sarah's mind. So in other words, if God wouldn't have called Sarah to do this, the world would be living at peace for 2,000 years. Wouldn't be no Muslims killing Christians or Jews, would it? Wouldn't be like that. And you really think a loving, merciful God calls Sarah to cause this war for 2,000 years? All Abraham had to do, because the man back in those days ran the show. All Abraham had to do was look at Sarah and say, "Sarah, I love Ishmael. He's my son. And I did this, created him because you asked me to, and I love you. But if you mention this one more time to me, you're going to walk off into the desert all alone, Sarah. And Hagar will raise Isaac and Ishmael, and the world will be at peace for 2,000 years." Why didn't Abraham stand up and be a man? I've told this to a Muslim before, and he said, "Don't blaspheme the prophet." No man's a prophet of mine that calls war for 2,000 years because he wouldn't stand up and do the right thing. That's what you people have to do to stop what's getting ready to happen. You have to stand up and do the right thing for one time in your life. Please, free your mind.